I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. It costs money to produce a show like this. So when somebody joins the Patreon, I truly, truly appreciate it. And we just got a new Patreon supporter. Thank you so much to Runy, R-U-N-Y. I truly, truly, truly appreciate your incredible support. So they joined the $1 a month tier. That gets them early access to all the podcast episodes, and they don't have to listen to this ad or any of the other ads that get inserted to the show. So if you want to support what I'm doing, if you want to make sure that I can keep producing more Japan focused content here on Japan Station, consider joining the Patreon for as little as $1 a month. There's also a $3 a month plus alpha tier. If you can afford to do that, that's even better. But even if you can't afford to join the Patreon, I truly appreciate all your support. Thank you for listening. Of course, if you can spread the show around, that's always helpful. But also, if you want to do a one-time donation, you can also check out ko-fi.com/Japankyo, Venmo, and PayPal. All the links are down below. But the Patreon is japankyo.com/Patreon in case you want to go there now and join. Anyway, that's enough of this. Let's get into the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Japan Station.
Welcome to Japan Station, a production of Japankyo.com. This is a podcast where we teach you everything you should know about Japan, plus a few other things. I'm your host, Tony R. Vega, and today I've got an announcement. That's because I've got a new regular co-host. If you're a regular listener if you used to listen to Ichimon Japan, you may remember this voice because she's been on the show before. She's my longtime friend and a wonderful person. Miyuki, welcome.
Hi, people.
Hey, welcome back. Yeah.
Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, I dragged you back to the show. I said, please come back on the show.
Well, my pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah. So I've mentioned it on the show before, but Ryan, my previous co-host, well, he just recently had a baby and he's all busy with that stuff. And, of course, he can't be joking around with me on the podcast right now. But I want to do, a regular episode with a co-host. I like doing that. And so I asked Miyuki if she would be so kind to come on the show as a regular co-host. And so she agreed. And usually I'm going to be doing one episode a month with Miyuki. There may be an exception here or there, but usually it'll be one episode a month where we talk about something, Japan related, sometimes something kind of weird, something funny, or I don't know, maybe recent events or whatever. It'll change from month to month, obviously. But so Miyuki will be on at least once a month for the time being. So thank you so much, Miyuki. I appreciate you making time to talk about silly things with me.
It's always fun to talk with you. So great. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. So then, today, we're going to be talking about my recent adventure in Japan. You know all about this because you were actually helping me a lot. But we'll talk about that in a moment. But basically, so I did another one of these long walks in Japan. This time I called it the Kyushu Challenge, and I walked from Yamaguchi Prefecture, specifically Iwakuni city. That's at the eastern side of Yamaguchi. And I walked all the way down to Sakurajima, down in Kagoshima. So that's this like active volcano area that's off the coast of Kagoshima. And I finally did the math. I finally went to Google Maps and put in all my, starting location, destination for every single day and figured out how long this whole walk was. And it was 558 kilometers, apparently. So
500?
558.
58.
Yeah. So that is the longest one that I've done so far. So the previous one was like 400-ish. And then the one before, the Tokaido one, was 500-ish. But of course, there were a couple parts where I couldn't actually walk it. It was kind of too dangerous, whatever. So it's actually less maybe, but I don't know. Something like that. This time around, I think there were like 24 kilometers that I didn't actually walk. And one was well, kind of well, I'll get into those because those are stories, so I won't spoil it yet. But
Okay.
yeah. Basically 500 something kilometers. All right. So, well, first of all, I'll mention, you were incredibly helpful in this. So, I had I decided I wanted to do a press release in Japanese for this, and to see if like anybody, in any media in Japan was interested in covering the story. And, I wrote up something and then you made it really good. And then you helped me post it to PR Times, which is like Japan's most well-known, like press release website, distribution site. And so that because of that, I got a bunch of websites that ran the story. So thank you so much for your help with that.
Yes. I was expecting a little more like website.
Yeah.
Like news website would cover it just a little more. But instead we got one TV interviewing you. So it was like I don't know, I was half satisfied, half I feel like we could have done a little more kind of a feelings, but it was good.
Yeah, well, for the first time that I tried doing that, I think it was very successful. I was very happy, and like you mentioned, we got local TV, so Yamaguchi Broadcasting, Yamaguchi Hoso, so that's from Yamaguchi Prefecture. They reached out and they wanted to do a story. I'll include the link to the YouTube video in the show notes in case anybody wants to see it. And so they actually came out one day that I was walking in Yamaguchi Prefecture, and they spent like 2 hours with me roughly. And they shot a bunch of footage of me walking. They asked me a bunch of questions. And of course, like the actual video is only like 2 minutes long or whatever. And they only use like a couple clips of me talking. But they asked me like a ton of more questions. So, but that's normal, right? That's normal. They shoot a lot of footage and then they only use, a little bit. But yeah, no, I was really pleased with that. Like, yeah, it's a local TV thing, but first time on Japanese TV, and got some new exposure. So I was very happy with that. So you don't know unless you try, right? You don't know that unless you try, and we tried, and they got something out of that.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and like actually, I didn't tell you about this, but because of that TV coverage, so somebody in Yamaguchi, they ended up contacting a friend that they have in Tokyo, and that friend works at Waseda University, and they do a lot of work with people with visual impairments and supporting students and all that. And he's like a PhD, originally doing like cancer research, but then he got into like supporting, like this one student that came in. And anyway, I ended up having dinner with him in Tokyo. This was after I saw you. And really nice guy, really just supportive, and really working hard, to support, the visually impaired and all that. And but also just a fun guy. He likes to run marathons and all that, and he runs with people who are visually impaired. And he's like, oh, I know this person, I think you can do a speech for them online, and I know this reporter who works at Mainichi Shimbun, and I think she might be interested in doing a story about you. So I don't know, we'll see. But just unexpected connections, right? Like just because of that press release, you get the TV thing then leads to somebody else, and then that leads to somebody else. So I'm still in touch with that person, and
wow,
I'm gonna probably stay in touch and do other stuff with them. So yeah, it's really nice.
That's cool. That's really nice, actually. I guess that's the power of like press release, and like you said, we never know until we give it a try. We gave it a try, and it turned out to be like connecting you with many more people. So
yeah. And then, well, because of the press release, then that connected me with somebody else in Yamaguchi Prefecture. So this person is somebody who's visually impaired. He's a para sports like person. He does running and all that. He organizes an event running in Iwakuni, and so he actually reached out because of the press release, and I started talking to him, and then I met him in Iwakuni, and then him and his wife gave me a ride to this train station that was kind of annoying to get to because there are very few trains on this train line. So they gave me a ride in the morning. They walked with me for, I don't know, maybe like 1 kilometer or something. And they gave me like a t-shirt and some cookies and whatever. And it's really, really nice people. Took some pictures with me. And so, now I'm connected with him and his wife, like via Instagram and all that. So again, just another really nice person that I was able to connect with because of the press release. And just of all the crazy things, because it was Iwakuni, like I wasn't originally planning to start from Iwakuni because the plan was to finish in Miyajima last year, but then I had an extra day. So I walked to Iwakuni, which is another 20 kilometers. Then he saw that I was starting from Iwakuni and he's like, I live in Iwakuni. So then, it's just all these unexpected things, but meeting a whole bunch of really nice, interesting people, all thanks to that press release. So
really worth it. So
yeah, absolutely. I'm very, like I said, I'm very happy with those results. So next year I am, thinking about doing another thing. So we'll probably be doing another press release. So
good. Yeah.
All right. So then I think, generally speaking, so 30 days of walking, some days with only half a day, like maybe 3 or 4 days, I only walked like half of the day. I did other stuff in the afternoon, but basically, 30 days, no days off. I walked usually around 20 kilometers, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. And like I said, I started in Iwakuni, but I was staying in a hotel in Hiroshima. So I was moving in the morning via train. I would get to the station, walk, finish at a train station, and then get back on and head back to Hiroshima. And so here's the first kind of interesting story that I guess I'll share. So because I was in Hiroshima, I wanted to have okonomiyaki. You have to. Have you had Hiroshima okonomiyaki, Miyuki?
Yes.
Of course. Yeah.
Of course.
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the controversial question. All right. So there's okonomiyaki from Osaka and there's okonomiyaki from Hiroshima. Which do you prefer?
Oh my gosh! Don't drag me in this entire world-ending fight between people of Hiroshima and people of Osaka. Don't.
This is like New York pizza versus Chicago pizza. It's like there's they will never agree on anything. The two groups. No.
Exactly.
I love both. I'll put it that way. I absolutely love both.
Oh my gosh. Okay, then I say I love both.
Yeah. So, very briefly, like the difference is, Hiroshima has like the noodles in it, and then Osaka okonomiyaki doesn't have noodles. It's more pancakey, I guess you might say. But,
fair enough.
Yeah, but I don't know. That maybe okonomiyaki fans will be upset at me because that's too simple. But anyway, I love Hiroshima okonomiyaki as well. So I made it a point. I gotta go have some Hiroshima okonomiyaki, and so there's probably a couple places, but there's one place near Hiroshima Station. It's a building, and on the 6th floor, it's all okonomiyaki little shops. Like they're all like the teppan, like the what do they call it, like grill, and you sit down around the grill, and they cook it in front of you, and it's just one floor full of these places. And so I went and it was mostly full. There were a lot of like kids on their like school trips there. And so they would be like all, the entire shop would be filled with, all these kids or like tourists. They would all go in a big group. And so everything was like reserved or full already. And so I was walking around and I found one place that had one empty seat around the grill. And so I asked, can I sit down? And I said, yeah, this one's open. So it's okay. Yeah. So I got to eat at this place. And I was eating, I was talking to the guy next to me and the guy cooking, who was one of the owners apparently. And I was telling them, oh, this is what I'm doing. They asked me and I tell them, oh, I'm walking around, from Kyushu and all this stuff. And they're like, oh my God, wow, that's amazing. And then so I finish, I go to pay, and then I think the shop was owned by two brothers. So one brother was cooking, the other brother was the guy that I paid. And so then I pay and I start walking to the elevator. And then the customer next to me, he tells the cashier guy, the brother, like, oh, this guy, the guy that's leaving right now, he's walking across Kyushu. Like he tells him like, what I was doing. And then so the guy that I paid runs over to me like as I'm waiting for the elevator, and then the elevator door opens and he says, oh, over here. And so I was like, oh, thank you. So I go to the elevator, and then he pulls out something, I guess, from his pocket, or I don't know, maybe he had it in his hand, and he puts it like in front of me and he goes, chip, which is how you pronounce tip in Japanese. So that completely confused me because there's no tips in restaurants usually, right? Yeah. So I can't see, I'm legally blind. I can't see exactly what he has in his hand, but, right. So eventually I figured out, oh, it's money. He's got like 1,000 yen in his hand. And he's like, oh, here, he says, buy yourself something good to drink. I heard you were walking across Kyushu. I was like, no. And I go like, no, you don't have to give me anything, right? I don't need this. But like he insists, and I'm already in the elevator, and like the elevator has to go. Like he's not going to hold this up forever. So finally I just, oh, okay, thank you so much. You really didn't have to do that, but thank you. And so then I leave. And so, yeah, so he gave me 1,000 yen. I paid like 2,000, maybe 200 yen or something for the okonomiyaki and the drink and all that. And then he gave me back like 1,000 yen. So yeah, that was just, one of the many, many very kind, nice people that I met along the way. And that was, just some random restaurant in Hiroshima that I just, I wasn't expecting a discount or anything, but, yeah, he just really wanted to support me, I guess, in this, crazy thing that I was doing.
Yes. I guess he was like really impressed by what you were doing, and he just felt like he had to help you in some ways, right?
I guess so. Yeah. That's never happened where I've had a restaurant owner like chase after me and give me money.
Whoever is listening this podcast, either like Japanese people living in Hiroshima or non-Japanese people living in Hiroshima, they would probably be, that's the people of Hiroshima. They're so nice.
I guess so. Yeah. No, I've met kind people all over the place, including Hiroshima. So, yeah, thank you to that wonderful restaurant owner. But anyway, so basically, I walked across Yamaguchi. I made it to the Kamon Strait, right, which is the area where like Honshu and Kyushu, well, they don't actually meet up. There's the water that crosses, like between the two, right?
Yeah.
And usually, I think most people either take the train or the ferry. Right? I have taken the ferry before. And I took the train many times, but this time around I walked under the water, under the ocean. And have you ever done that?
No. No, unfortunately. Well, I mean, Tony, you know more than I do. Like, you know Japan more than I do by the time you've done these challenges, you know most places, and I know barely.
Well, I know like route number 1 and national route 2 and national route 3 and all these areas where people like just would never walk.
Yeah, but like, yeah, so don't expect me knowing more than you know.
No, but I mean, you go on like school trips or just, business trips or whatever, sometimes, you go to these places. So just curious.
No, unfortunately not.
Well, I'll tell you this much. It is cool to walk under the ocean. It's an interesting experience, but it is just like, it's just a tunnel, like a square, well-lit tunnel. There's really nothing like special to see under. right? But it's just cool to say you walked under the ocean from Honshu to Kyushu. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Although like if you walk under it and then you get to the other side, it's like there's really like not much to see. Like on the Kyushu side, like there was really not much there. So I don't know. You take some photos and then I guess you walk back.
How long does it take?
Probably like 10 to 15 minutes. I
Oh,
think it's
okay.
less than a kilometer, but close to a
Ah,
kilometer. Yeah.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
It
didn't know.
yeah, it's not that long, but it's not short either. I
Mm,
think the ferry is more fun. You get to, see the ocean
mm-hmm,
and all that.
mm-hmm.
And then if you do ever go to that area, like the Shimonoseki area on the Yamaguchi side, I recommend going to the fish market. I think it's called Karato, if I remember correctly. And I went there years ago, and it's really good. Just tons of fresh fish, just right
Nice.
there. I think it's the weekend is when you want to go, like Saturday or Sunday. I don't remember exactly which day, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe both days, but yeah, I highly recommend that area. So check that out if you're in the Shimonoseki area.
Nice.
Yeah, then from there, of course, walked across Fukuoka. Fukuoka was very easy to walk through because, well, like from Hakata north, it was very easy to walk through because it's so populated. That is like the most populated area on
Mm-hmm.
Kyushu, probably. And then once you start going south from there, it starts to get more and more rural, with the occasional city along the way. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and then I walked very briefly across Saga Prefecture, like probably 2 hours in Saga, something like that. Because the way the route that I took, like it was like from Fukuoka, I cross over to Saga and then I back into Fukuoka. So there's a little
Uh-huh.
part of Saga that cuts into Fukuoka, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that area of Saga, there was a good train station, and then there was like nothing like after that area. So yeah, and then it went back to Fukuoka, and then I got to Kumamoto. So Kumamoto is when things started to get interesting, and like things
Mm-hmm.
started to get more difficult. Things were
Mm-hmm.
surprisingly not that rural or that crazy difficult for most of the trip, like about halfway. Kurume in southern Fukuoka was kind of the halfway point, but then once I got to especially southern Kumamoto, that's when things started to get more challenging because that is one of the most rural areas that I walked through. There's a station called Yatsushiro. There's Yatsushiro City in Kumamoto. And that
That's a
is,
shit. Okay.
yeah, that is where the JR line ends for like around 100 something kilometers. And
Okay.
then
Okay.
like I think before the bullet train connected down to Kagoshima, that
Uh-huh.
portion that I'm talking about, the next 100 something kilometers, I think that used to be JR. I think.
Uh-huh.
But
Uh-huh.
then once they opened the bullet train, that became like a private company, I believe. So
Makes
that,
sense.
yeah, that is not maintained by JR anymore. It's called the Hisatsu Orange Railway, the Hisatsu Orange Tetsudo. And that part connects from like I said, Yatsushiro to what's it called? Sendai in Kagoshima Prefecture.
Mm.
And that is like 115 kilometers, and it's basically all along the coast, like from Yatsushiro down to that area of Kagoshima. There's some wonderful ocean views in that area. There's parts where you just, you're walking right next to the ocean. It's really nice, but it's also just a lot of it is really, really rural, really remote. There's not that many people. There were portions where it's like there's no convenience stores or anything. I managed to find like one of those Michi no Eki, which are basically like little rest stops for like cars, people driving. And yeah, that was one of the most challenging areas. And like for example, like I had the scariest experience like that I've had. I think this in all of my trips. I found this. Well, I found I don't know if "found's" the right word. Google Maps took me into an extremely long tunnel, and it was yeah, one of those tunnels where you're probably not supposed to walk through it. Like it's not intended. I don't think it's intended for pedestrians because there's pretty much no walking area. Like there was a little ledge, like a little raised area that you had to like basically walk with one foot in front of the other. And then like the white line for the road was like right next to that. So it was really narrow. And Google Maps doesn't tell you like, oh, there's a tunnel on this road. It's 1 kilometer long. It doesn't tell you that. So I didn't know. I got to this tunnel and I go like, okay, this looks like a kind of a scary tunnel, but it can't be that long, right? Like I can probably make it through this. Okay. So I start walking and it's narrow and it's uncomfortable and there's cars like zooming by literally like right next to me. Not that many because there's not that many cars in the area, but still. And it turned out like this tunnel was probably close to 2 kilometers because it took me like 35 minutes to walk through it. And it like I filmed this whole experience and you can hear me going like, when is this going to end? Like, oh my God, like what? I don't want to be here. It was yeah, I've been through a lot of tunnels and some kind of scary ones, but that one definitely was the scariest, the most unpleasant one because it just seemed like it was never going to end. And once you get to a certain point, it goes like you have to decide like, are you going to walk back or are you going to keep going? But since you don't know how long it is, like you just go like, well, it can't be that much longer. So if I walk back now, it's going to be like I wasted all this time and effort. So I guess I should just keep going. But then I would keep going and going and it just would not end. So yeah, that was one of the scariest experiences. And then there was another chunk that was really rural. It was like 10 kilometers of almost nothing probably. And there was another tunnel. I watched a YouTube video and I saw somebody drive through the tunnel. So I decided that was one of the areas that I decided I probably shouldn't walk it because it seemed like it would be another dangerous tunnel. So yeah, that's why I didn't walk that area. But like, I think one of the most interesting areas that I ended up on was probably Sakurajima. So I'm going to ask you again, have you been down to Kagoshima in general?
So I haven't been to Kagoshima.
Mm-hmm.
I've only been to, so like the most southern part of Kyushu I've been to is, I think, Kumamoto.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No Miyazaki, no Kagoshima.
Did you see Kumamon?
Actually, yes. Because like I was staying in this like nice onsen hotel, and there was this like a how do you call it, like a kaohame panel.
Oh, like one of those like photo spots where you put your face in the hole and like the picture. There's some picture there.
Yeah. So there was like something like that. It was the panel that I can take a picture with Kumamon. So do you still call it I've met Kumamon or what?
I mean, well, at least it's in Kumamoto, so that counts more than somewhere else. So I do actually have a Kumamon story because I did go see Kumamon, but I'm gonna save that for a different episode because that is a long story. So anyway, yeah, Kagoshima. So very I had actually been there before. Actually, the first time that I went to Japan, I had been to Kagoshima, and yeah, so good food. Had some good food. Kurobuta, which is literally like black pork. I think it's called Berkshire pork in English. And that was quite good. The shabu shabu, I recommend the shabu shabu more than the tonkatsu, because the when you fry something, it's like it all kind of tastes the same.
I get your point. Yes.
Yeah. But shabu it's like just lightly cooked. You get to actually taste the meat, the difference. So I recommend 100% if you're gonna have kurobuta, try shabu shabu. Make that a point. You try whatever you want, but try the shabu shabu for sure. Yeah, and then so Sakurajima. So Sakurajima is this it used to be an island, but then the volcano erupted in like 1914, if I remember correctly, and then that ended up connecting it to the land. So it's actually not an island anymore. It's connected to the mainland, but still called Sakurajima. Jima comes from Shima, means island. Anyway, so active volcano right off the coast of Kagoshima. You take a ferry to get there. And it's a really, really interesting place. And so I ended up going there with somebody, one of my sponsors, and we ended up taking a taxi around that area. And the taxi driver that we got was just so talkative, so interesting. He told us all about everything and how he used to play in this area when he was in elementary school, and now it's gone. It's all like weeds, and so they get, it's all scary now. But we used to climb up the volcanic rocks and play here. And he was telling us all these stories, and he was saying how back, I think like before maybe like around 100 years ago or so, like it used to have a population of like 20,000 people, but right now it's like 3,000 people, and it's, it keeps shrinking. Now it's like the really old population is the majority, and new people aren't really coming in. And he was telling us about like the schools, like literally there are schools there with like one student or like sometimes two. And then one of the students is like the daughter or the son of one of the teachers at the school. So like and they're shutting down like the one of the elementary schools, I think this year, next year. Like that area is just shrinking and shrinking, and there's just I totally understand, like the volcanoes are still active. It's a dangerous area to live in. Like I get why people wouldn't want to live there, but it is interesting how he was telling us like all about like everything, how this student, this school used to have two students, but then the elementary school like student went to the junior high, so now it only has one student, and like he's been alone for like 3 years now. Like it's crazy. It's really crazy to hear this stuff, and so I'm really glad that we got to talk to this person, because he told us all about like life on this area of Japan that is, most people probably don't end up going there because it's just so remote.
Yeah.
So, but it was very cool, and we got to go to this observatory. We also ended up going to this like old shrine that got buried by like one of these volcanic eruptions, right? So like the top of the shrine, you can see the top of the Torii gate, but like the bottom is still buried from the the rocks and whatever of the volcanic eruption. So that's a pretty unique place. So hey guys, just a quick interruption here because I want to say thank you to all my incredible sponsors. As you can imagine, having to fly to Japan to spend a month there walking every single day is not cheap. You have to pay for the airfare, you have to pay for the hotels, you have to pay for the train fare, the food, the equipment, and other expenses. It really adds up. And this year I was able to raise $5,000 between all my sponsors and the credit card points that I've been able to accumulate over the past 2 years of walking in Japan. So I was able to pay for everything thanks to the incredible support of these wonderful sponsors: the Hawaii Association of the Blind, United Neko Alliance, Chaos Club, Mecha Yugen, and Wailoa Loa. Thank you so much, guys. And I have one more sponsor to thank. That's Mobile. So Mobile provides SIM cards and pocket Wi-Fi devices to travelers in Japan, and they provided me with a SIM card with a Japanese phone number, internet access, and unlimited internet on a pocket Wi-Fi device while I was in Japan walking across Kyushu. So I was able to connect to Google Maps and social media and all that stuff, thanks to the internet connection provided by Mobile. If you're planning a trip to Japan and you want a SIM card with a Japanese phone number, consider using my affiliate link, mobile.com/TonyJapan, and you'll get 10% off. There's a link in the show notes. And an extra special thank you to Declan Summers, the CEO of Mobile, who was incredibly kind, supportive, and he also gave me a personal contribution. Thank you so much, Declan. It was wonderful to meet with you in Tokyo. And another extra special thank you to Neil from the United Nikko Alliance. He's been an incredible supporter since the very beginning, since I first decided to walk the Tokaido. He's walked at least one day each time with me, and he came all the way down to Kagoshima, and we went around Sakurajima together. So thank you so much, Neil. It's really, really crazy to think that this all just began as a crazy idea. I didn't know how I was going to pay for all of this. As I said, it's not cheap. I've had to raise $5,000 every single time I've done one of these walks. And thanks to the kindness of people like the people that I just named and the groups that I just named, I've been able to do this. So thank you, guys. I truly, truly appreciate it. So that is kind of like the general overview. I have to say it was a very interesting experience getting to walk across Kyushu like that in Yamaguchi. Like I have almost no, like I've got very, very little experience in Yamaguchi. So I don't know if I got a good experience in Yamaguchi because I basically just saw like the road, just walking along the road like every day. But I did have some good kawara soba.
Kawara soba?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is that?
Oh my God. You don't know what kawara soba is?
You told you this. Kawara soba?
Kawara soba.
It feels like I've heard it, but I can't think of anything specific. What is it? Kawara soba.
Yeah, basically it's I assume that originally like they would cook it on hot kawara, which are like the roof tiles. I guess that's why they called it kawara. But basically it's like soba. When they bring it out to you, it's on a sizzling something like a plate or whatever. So it's literally still sizzling. And I'm sure they might use because typical soba is you dip it in the thing. It's lightly flavored. This has some more ingredients in it. It has a different flavor, but I think the main distinguishing thing is that it comes out sizzling, right? And I guess maybe on a kawara or a kawara looking thing. It was quite good.
Sorry.
Quite good.
I lied. I've had it this one.
Okay. But I guess you didn't remember
once. There is Yamaguchi food restaurant in Tokyo.
Oh, okay.
And for some reason, I ended up going there like many, many years ago. And as soon as you started explaining, it kind of like my brain started like going through old memory.
Yeah.
And now I know. Yeah.
There you go. I was surprised.
This one.
Yeah. It's good. If you're in Tokyo and you go to that place, check it out. Or if you go to Yamaguchi, check it out.
Yes, that's more authentic.
Yeah. And it was quite cheap. It was probably like $7 or something like that. And I had some yakitori aside from that as well. So that was quite good in Yamaguchi. But aside from that, like all I did was walk in Yamaguchi. I don't really have any. Yeah. Well, in Yamaguchi, so okay, here's another story from Yamaguchi. So I was in most of Yamaguchi was actually quite easy to walk through. Like the roads were very good. But there was this one area that I got to that it didn't have many sidewalks, and it was one of these, main roads. It was Route 2. And that day it was raining as well, and not just raining, but it was like thunder and lightning. Like it was like long thunder. Like it would go on for like 6, 7, 8 seconds. It would just keep going like, and it was, it was kind of scary because it seemed like it wasn't raining that bad, but it seemed like it was going to start raining even more.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So I walked for maybe like 4 or 5 kilometers, and then I got to this area where like there was just no more sidewalk anymore. And so I started walking on the road, like basically on the white line as much as I could to get out. Mm-hmm. So, I'm not like walking in front of cars. But like there was, after a while, like usually there would be the sidewalk that would start up again. But like I was walking and there was just no sidewalk. And so I got to this area where there's a little like area for a car to stop, and there was a car stop there, and there was somebody waiting for me, and he said like, are you okay? Do you need help? I was like, I explained what I'm doing, and he's like, oh, I can give you a ride. And so, I'm like, well, sure. Can you give me a ride to wherever the sidewalk starts up again? And he's like thinking, I'm not sure. Like, he's not sure where the sidewalk starts up again. And we're talking and talking. He's like, I thought you were going to die out there. So I had to stop to save you. And anyway, it turned out that he was going in the direction that I was trying to get to this station called Ube. And he was going to go. So he had gone to practice like his golf swing or something somewhere. And he was on his way home, and he was going to pick up his kid's bicycle and he was going to go to Ube to pick up his kid's bicycle. And so he's like, well, I could just take you to Ube because I don't know where the sidewalk starts up again. And we go like, well,
okay.
And it's raining stuff. So I'm like, okay, normally I don't want to skip too much, but like it's raining, and like even this guy who lives in this area doesn't know where the sidewalk starts up again. So I'm like, okay. And so we're talking this whole way, and he's driving me, and it's like, yeah, like, see, the sidewalk starts up again, but then it ends right there. It ends right there. It ends right there. So like it seemed like it was a really difficult area to walk through. So between the rain and not many sidewalks like areas, like it just seemed like the safe thing to do to have him take me to Ube. So that is the other area that I ended up skipping. So between that and the other tunnel, that was like maybe 24-ish kilometers. So yeah, but really, really nice guy. So, he took me in one of those little like keitora, like those little tiny Japanese trucks. So I think it was the first time that I got to ride one of those.
Guess most of the rural areas in Japan, I guess other countries as well, but most of the rural areas in Japan are, how do you call it, like a car-oriented society?
Definitely.
Like people highly depend on like automobile, and people don't really walk. So not many people know about all these like pedestrian areas of this road, that road, and stuff like that. Yeah. So I guess he couldn't really tell.
Yeah. Like for example, in that railway that I mentioned earlier, the what's it called, the Hisatsu Orange Railway down in Kumamoto and Kagoshima. There were times when the train would pass by once an hour, I think, like in peak hours, but a lot of the day it was once every 2 hours. So yeah, like if you miss that train, it's like, geez, like you just have to wait there for like 2 hours. And then there was another time when I finished, and for whatever reason, the train got canceled. The train that was supposed to come, and it was like maybe 2 o'clock or something, and they said, oh, the next train is coming at like 5 o'clock. Because I think I was there like 1 or 2 o'clock. So I would have had to wait like 3 or 4 hours for the next train where I was trying to go. But I ended up taking the train that went the opposite direction. And then I took the bullet train back to where I was trying to go because I had a pass. So I was able to, I didn't have to wait there like 4 hours. But yeah, some of these rural areas, like honestly, I think that like it's going to be significantly more difficult to do something like what I did maybe in like 10 to 20 years, because like some of these rural train lines, like they're not making money, like they're losing money. Like there's no way that they can be making money, and the government and whatever is probably supporting them because they are an important service to the area. But there may come a limit where they have to shut down some of these train lines, or they're going to reduce some of the train stations. And so then it becomes much more difficult to do, something like what I did, or just to live in these areas in general, just, to go to work and all that. Like less and less people are around, so less train stations, and people are going to be going more and more to the cities. And that's just, it's already happening, but it's going to get worse and worse, it seems.
I guess. I remember there was like an area in Kumamoto prefecture that was like heavily affected by like a storm, like a really heavy rain. And they had to close certain like areas because it was like really like badly damaged.
Yeah.
And because there were not I don't know how to put this, but I guess maybe there was not enough demand from the people.
Mm-hmm.
JR couldn't recover quick enough, and I guess they ended up deciding not gonna open it
Oh,
again or
wow.
something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm I should have known this better, but
No, no,
like,
no. But like
yeah,
that's the
so
thing. Like some of these train stations are barely operating. But like
mhm,
if a natural disaster or something like that happens, now they have to make the decision, like, is it worth the extra investment to,
mhm,
rebuild this little area or whatever?
mhm.
And, sometimes they're gonna have to decide that no, it's not. And that's yeah,
Yeah,
it's unfortunate, especially for anybody who's living in that area, but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
an unavoidable thing. And I mean, I don't know if you were referring to like this past summer, there was like a lot of rain in Kyushu, but
Uh,
some of those areas in Kyushu are still affected, still recovering.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I met
Yeah.
somebody in Kumamoto who was telling me about that. Like she's still volunteering to help some of those
Mm,
areas that got, like landslides and houses like fell off of the mountains and stuff like that.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
yeah, like some of those areas are just already remote, and then you get, big rain like that, and that it just gets even worse.
Yeah. I guess the rain I mentioned it was
Mm.
2020, so already
Oh,
five
okay, okay,
years ago.
got it.
Yeah, yeah. But then the Okinawa and mostly southern part of Kyushu, they have
Hmm.
typhoon
Hmm. Yeah,
every
yeah.
summer, and because of the active volcano, they have earthquakes.
Hmm.
So the area is like constantly having like really heavy damage from the natural disaster.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So, and like you mentioned, there are people who really need like public transportation in that area, but because the amount of the people is less or like
Hmm.
not enough, they had to, like you said, they had to decide either giving up on this area or like
Hmm.
putting extra investment and recover it. And oftentimes people, we're sorry, but we can't, you know?
Yeah, yeah, and like as evidence of like the fact that there's less people in this area, like you can just look at the train fares, like whether it's
Mm,
JR or the bullet train or some of these, local non-JR smaller train lines, like they tend to be more expensive
mhm,
in Kyushu than in the
mhm.
mainland, well, Honshu, like, Tokaido area and all that, because there's
Yeah.
just less people, so they have to charge more. And for
Mhm.
me during this trip, like, I had to pay quite a bit in train fare. And so, for example, one
Yeah.
way that I saved money was by getting one of these bullet train passes that I could ride the bullet train 7 days, all, however many times I wanted in a day. And so I was able
Uh-huh.
to, travel from my hotel to wherever I needed to go. And then at the end of the day, go back to my hotel. And I was able to save money that way because, just for example, traveling from Hakata to like I think Kumamoto, or no, like maybe like the Yatsushiro area. I think it was like
Yeah.
7,000 yen ish on the bullet train. Uh
Uh-huh.
and a round trip, that's I have to do round trip. So that's like, 14,000 yen. That's like $100 roughly.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
and like that is like compared to, like Tokyo, Osaka, like that area, for that same amount of distance, that is definitely more expensive. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the
Sure.
cost
Yeah,
really
for
adds
sure.
up. Yeah, it really adds up. And it is something to be aware of if you're traveling in the Kyushu area, although most people aren't going to be traveling the way that I did. So
So maybe people get inspired and decide to do it like you did.
maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, if you do, let me know. Mail@japankia.com. I'd love to hear your story. But yeah, the trains were killer. Like hotel rates are not that bad for the most part. Except for like maybe Hakata, like that. Yeah, the hotels could get really expensive there, but for the most part, like hotels were very affordable. But the train fare that really added up.
I see.
Kagoshima had some really cheap hotels. Like there was this one place that I found that was like $18 or $12 or something like that. I was I
Heck.
was I was tempted to just go there. It was like a hostel type place, but it was
Uh-huh.
so cheap that I was tempted just to go, just to experience, to see like what is this place, right? But I didn't. And it's like, no, I don't want to risk it. I need to get good sleep if I'm going to be walking the whole day. So I didn't do it. But yeah,
Curious.
yeah, I was very curious. But Kagoshima had some good hotel rates. So if you're curious about Kagoshima, go check it out. There's some nice places like in Kagoshima, there's a lot of history related to, of course, like Saigo Takamori and the Satsuma, rebellion and all that stuff. So if you're into that area of history, then definitely check out Kagoshima. So yes, that is basically it for the highlights. But like I said, I have another story that is related to Kumamon, and that is probably the funniest experience that it might be the funniest experience I've ever had in Japan in general. Um, not
Much.
not just walking, like just anything, all time funniest experience. Um,
Okay.
and I don't think I told you the whole story, so this might be a new one for you. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll talk about that next time. And
Aw,
yeah,
come on.
I have to tease him. I have to tease him. Yeah, and we'll also talk about Kuomon a little bit, I guess, because it's all related to Kuomon. So I gotta talk a little bit about Kuomon as well. So that'll
Okay.
be in the next episode. So we will leave it at that. And next year I'll just tease everybody. Next year the idea is to do a tandem bicycle ride from Tokyo, Nipponbashi,
Woo.
right, to Aomori. So basically across Tohoku, all the way to the top of the island of Honshu. And that will be over
Ooh.
1,000 kilometers. So yeah, it'll be a different kind of adventure because I'm going to be, on the back of a bicycle with somebody else, and maybe there might be other people. We'll see. We'll see. I haven't actually started organizing this, but it'll be different, and we'll see. Like one of the concerns, of course, is bears because
It's
there's
been it's not even funny. It's been like really, really serious problems here in Japan.
like
So
every day just bear news, bear attack, bear news, bear sighting, bear. It's like it's crazy.
yeah,
It's really
it
really
is.
crazy.
It is
Yeah.
crazy.
So yeah, I don't know. We'll yeah, I need to figure out all the details, but that is the idea for next year. And like I said, we'll probably put out another press release and see what happens there because
So
it's worth
Tony,
it.
you're done with walking. Is that what it is?
No, I may do other stuff at some point, but like the thing is that I wanna finish Honshu, uh, right? But making it to the top of Honshu would probably take me 3 years at this pace. And I don't want to wait 3 years.
Honest enough.
Yeah. So like so and obviously I'm not just gonna take a train up there. That's not fun. That's not interesting. That doesn't like do anything. That doesn't shine a light on, people with visual impairments or anything that I'm trying to do. So what's the other creative way that I can do it? Well, the idea that I came up with was a tandem bicycle ride.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I
that's the
see.
idea. So I can finish Honshu, and then after that, I haven't decided. There's other ideas, maybe shorter things, maybe other areas. Of course, there's the Shikoku, pilgrimage. That's always an option.
Yeah.
I don't know. I try not to, think about too far ahead. Right now the
Mm-hmm.
focus is the next thing, and then we'll figure out what happens after that. But
Okay.
I think walking is walking will provide the most interesting person to person interactions, I think, because it's
Mm.
like I'm out there by myself, lost, and so I always get good stories out of that, and connect with people. But I've never done a tandem bicycle ride. I think that'll be really fun, really interesting, and I might be able to get more people involved in that. So that'll also be a new aspect to all of this. So yeah, I want to give it a shot. So we will wrap it up here. If you have any questions or anything, you can always email me, mail@japanki.com. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. The schedule will usually be like one interview a month and then one episode like this where I talk to Miyuki about just whatever, we think of. So and then bonus episodes here and there. So that's the general idea. So you can expect that, once I fall back into the rhythm, because I'm still catching up on stuff from coming back from Japan. So anyway, thank you, Miyuki, for coming on the show. And I'll
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, all right. See you guys in the next one.
Bye-bye.